We have a housing crisis in this country. We have a situation where more and more Australians can't afford to live in their own home, and we have a situation where more and more Australians dream of owning their own home is fading away, and the ability to get through their lives and to have the financial stress of being able to pay the bills is becoming harder and harder for too many Australians. And yet the government does not have a plan to tackle housing affordability, and the government does not have a plan to tackle homelessness in this country. I want to start as well by acknowledging the newly established Labor for Housing group in Victoria, where we moved a motion at the Victorian State Labor Conference last weekend, and I want to especially recognise Juliana Todorovic and John Webber for their work in leading Labor for Housing, and one that I was pleased to support, and one where we are bringing grassroots policy ideas to this important debate. Let's have a look at some of the numbers, because the numbers in this debate are crucial. They are crucial to be able to show whether the government has a plan or not. And right now, the government's doing a little bit. There's a little bit of piecemeal here, there's a little bit of policy over there, there's a little bit of financial raising over here, but it is not a plan to deal with the housing crisis in this country. According to a report in 2017 that was presented to the government, which is supporting the implementation of an affordable housing bond aggregator by the Affordable Housing Working Group, report to the heads of treasuries in 2017, it was estimated that we need to be creating at least 6,000 new homes, social housing homes, in this country to stay afloat, to stay at the current levels. When combined with the fact that CEDA has made a report, as well as a number of other community groups, that says that the actual amount of affordable homes that we need to be creating in this country is closer to 20,000. 20,000. And yet how many is the government actually doing right now? Well, I can tell you, the National Housing Finance and Investment Corporation has helped build around 1,000 new homes since it was established, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. In fact, you're seeing complimentary statements by CBUS and a number of other organisations. But that is not a housing plan. Doing a little bit is not a plan for housing. Doing a little bit over here, supporting a few homes, supporting some community housing development is a good thing, and the government should be congratulated for doing a good thing. But that doesn't excuse them from actually bringing a housing plan to this country. It doesn't excuse them for actually bringing a plan to tackle homelessness in this country. What is government for? To do a little bit of policy over here? Or is it actually to tackle an issue? Is it actually to deal with the things that face Australians today? Having a small policy on the side doesn't excuse this government from not actually dealing with the crux of this problem. Now, we on this side of the chamber are not perfect, and I am the first to admit that. And we lost a very difficult election. But at least we had a national housing plan. At least we had a plan that dealt with the fact that we have a housing crisis in this country. And that involved building 250,000 new affordable homes. It involved $88 million for a safe housing fund, to reinstate a Minister for Housing and Homelessness, and to re-establish the National Housing Supply and Council, and a number of other reforms. It was a plan. It was something that said we acknowledge the scale of the problem, and here is our policy to deal with it. Investing in a little bit of renewable energy isn't a national energy plan. Creating a couple of homes on the side isn't a housing and homelessness plan. Actually having the courage, the intellectual rigour, the commitment to the policy, that's what this government needs to do, instead of fobbing off their responsibilities. And I can't speak on this issue without addressing one of the most fundamental parts of this debate, and that is the staggeringly low rate of New Start. That so many people who are in the housing sector, the social and community housing sector, when they need to be able to live in an affordable home, simply cannot get into the market because of the low rate of New Start. We have a housing and homelessness crisis in this country. Doing a little bit on the side is not a housing plan, and this government needs to get up and do something about it.